Hello everybody, today we're going to see the final phase of the Dazel project. So this week we continued development our scene, as you can see. So last week it was only the rhino over the plan, but this week it's not only the rhino. We had to create the environment of the zoo so the player can feel that it's really a zoo, and I had to choose another animal to interact with my own rhino. So I chose those birds, and those birds actually Ryan created them. So let's see what's gonna happen when we play the scene. So that's the scene, or that's how the player we're gonna see the game. So when we start the game, that bicycle is gonna start moving, the birds are gonna start flying around the area, as we can see, and those birds actually are tracking patrol points, and they are using the raycast to create that function. And we created that fence around the rhinos, and we placed like 4 rhinos inside and 2 big rocks, and here are the pumpkins, and that place is a store, so the visitors can buy some gifts from that store. And here's some benches and the trees. So let's make sure that everything is working good. So the player is supposed to go inside the rhinos area through that broken part of the fence, and as soon as the player go inside and enters the box collider, the rhinos are gonna start following him, so we can take them outside and inside again. So let's check how did we reach that phase. So we're gonna go first through the Trello cards. So we have here the level design card. So when I started to think about that and how to develop my scene, I had to choose another animal to interact with my own scene and my own rhino, and then I had to find the assets that serves the reality of my scene, like the trees, the grass, the textures, and the other assets like the rocks and the benches. And I had also to test the functionality of my animal and the other animal, which are the birds, and make sure that there is no bugs over there. Before I start building my scene, I had to find a reference on Google Images for an environment for a zoo with a rhino to see how does it look like. And then I had to draw a map for that scene on the Google Draw, and at the end I combined all of those things in one scene, and that was the scene that we just viewed 2 minutes ago. And I also did some work on Perforce, so I got the latest revision of everybody's folders to make sure that I have everything of their work, and I checked all the animals to decide which one is gonna match with my scene, and I examined them all. So I had to make sure that the one that I'm choosing is actually working and there is no bugs in it. mm, we also have the level document, and the level document shows the environment, which is the zoo and the rhinos area and the garden. The garden actually is the outer area or the external area where the player can move, or the visitors of the zoo can move around freely with no danger. And this level actually is a tutorial or an intro for the collecting pumpkins mechanic and the chase mechanic of the rhino, and that the player is supposed to run away from it. And the purpose is to show the player how to collect all the pumpkins and escape from the rhino. We also have some data over here. So the speed of the rhino is average between 0 and 10, and the birds between 0 and 15, and the bicycle is gonna be always 2 because it starts running as soon as we start playing the game. We also have some information about the items and the assets. So we have trees, we have 30 trees actually, and we have 2 rocks and 3 groups of birds. And here we can show that the player can reach all the area of the scene. It's all walkable. And here we can see that the reference that I used to create my environment. So I try to find a picture that shows the environment of the rhino inside any zoo. So this is Dublin Zoo actually, and this is the map that I drew using the Google Maps, and here's the link. Of that document. And at the end I had to make sure that I'm following the rubric of that project. So I created everything in the Trello cards, and I placed all my documents and all my links and the feature sheets and the level document, and I named everything with last name, first name, underscore Dazel. And I had to make sure that I'm showing everything in my video. So let's go back to our scene and watch it one more time. So as you can see here, here's the bicycle moving as soon as we start running the game. And also our birds are still moving, there's no bugs, and they are still tracking the patrol points, and some of them are interacting with my rhino, and the rhino is moving its head, and some of the patrol points of the birds are over here on the tree branch. So let's try the player also again. So the player enters the area, the rhino starts to chase it, and then the player escape outside the game. Up. Let's take them inside back. Yeah. Okay, That's it, and thank you for following.